We had it all. We had it all. So it wasn't a very particular reading a lot month, but it was a really interesting month of reading. And I did read. I did read. Hello, beautiful bookworms. My name is Katarina, and welcome to my channel. And today I do have a productive May. May? Yeah, May. We're going to June. Okay, where the fuck is the year going? But we do have a productive May wrap up. And even though I have some reviews for some of these, I only have for one. No, I only have for one. Okay, we are okay. I don't even know what I'm saying already. But yeah, even though I have a review for one of these, I've read some very strange things that all bind up together really closely by the end of it. So without further ado, let's just get into my wrap up, and this was what I read in the month of May. So the first thing that I want to mention is something that I already have a review for, and that is Tombs by Junji Ito. So this is the new Viz Media, Viz Signature Line collection of short stories by Junji Ito. It's a beautiful hardcover edition that matches really well with the other ones that I have. I have all of Junji Ito's published manga read and reviewed, and also some advice on if you should start with one or the other. So if you want to check that out, I'm going to leave linked up above the review for this, but also the playlist for all my reviews from Junji Ito books. And I really enjoyed this manga. I think it's a good and interesting manga if you do want to start with Junji Ito. I think it has some of his stronger short stories in a while that I've read. And I really love the art style in here. I think it's one of the best that his art style has ever been, and really enjoyed it. Also, it matches my nails, and this is the last time probably that I'm going to make this joke, but I'm still going to do it. And yeah, it was great. It's big, but it's not that big, and it has amazing, creepy, and spine-tingling stories that if you love horror, you might like. Attention to trigger warnings, mostly mutilation and body dysmorphia and body horror, gore. But yeah, also some psychological grief, suicide ideation, and others. It's also present in here. So go safely into Junji Ito, but if you like horror, it's one of a kind, I can assure you. Then, strangely not horror, but also a little bit horror since it apparently is based on a poem by Edgar Allan Poe, and I had no fucking idea. I read Lady Midnight by Cassandra Clare, and this is the first in the Dark Artifices series. It's the Shadowhunter novel, and this is a behemoth of a monster. And I had started this last year in summer vacations, and then I never picked it up back again. And this month I was like, okay, but stop with this shit. Just pick it up and finish it, because if you don't like it, you will have to regift the entirety of this series or of this trilogy to someone else. So just fucking read it. And people kept telling me, like, The Dark Artifices is like the best trilogy that Cassandra Clare ever wrote. And you know what? I drove through the Moral Instruments and I couldn't stand Clary Fairchild, for the love of God. Like, the main character of that series is the most annoying main character in the fucking world for me. And I enjoyed it at the end. The first 3 books are terrible. I'm so sorry. If you love the series, that's okay. I'm really happy for you. But the first 3 books are terrible. The 4th book, I don't know what it's doing there. And then the 5th and 6th book is pretty good. Well, the 3rd book is good. Well, the first 2 books are terrible. The 3rd book is good. The 4th book, I don't fucking know what it's doing there. And the 5th and the 6th is pretty cool. And I've also read The Mortal Instruments, the Infernal Devices, sorry, which I actually loved. And this one had the problem that all Cassandra Clare books have for me. The beginning, the first ones in series. It's like, it drags the fuck out until you finally reach the painful place where you really want to be, and that's what makes me appreciate her writing, is that fucking painful place that she puts you through and just leaves you without being able to breathe properly. But yeah, the angst was real in this, and I was so happy. But it only happened like 300 pages in. Like, the first 300 pages, I'm like, please God, make it stop. I don't know if I can read this series. And then the last 300 somewhat pages, I was like, yes, God, please, more. I want more of the series. And apparently she tried to do a retelling or a reimagining of the poem Annabel Lee by Edgar Allan Poe, which I should have seen. At the first glance, when I saw that this had to do with a poem, I understood who the main villain was before it was explained to me. But it was still good. It was good. And the ending, the fucking epilogue, I was like, Cassandra fucking Clare, I want to read the second one. But I haven't picked it up yet. I haven't, but I will. I will for the next month, maybe, if I can, or maybe in the summer break that I'm not going to have. But yeah, it was interesting. Lady Midnight was cool. The first 300 pages, though, Jesus, my fucking soul. Then I read something, and I still don't know how I feel about this. I mean, I loved it in a way because the prose and the suffering and the sensibility and the critique to human nature and society in general was on fucking point. But the gore, I felt so sick, which was completely the point, but it was the first book that made me want to throw the fuck up. Which could be good, but in this case, it was good, but at the same time, I give it 4 stars because I couldn't, in my conscience, give 5 stars to a book with those details. Let me tell you what I'm talking about. So I'm talking about Them by MIQUE Watson, and if you don't know MIQUE, I will leave his channel linked down below because he's a fucking genius. I love him, and he loves extreme horror. And he's always talking about it, and I love watching his videos, and I'm like, I wish I could go into extreme horror like he went to. And he wrote a book, and I saw the video, and I was like, okay, gonna grab that shit because from MIQUE it's going to be good. And it is good. The epilogue of that book, Jesus fucking Christ. And the writing of it, it's incredible, but it's so fucking gross. And that is Them by MIQUE Watson, if I haven't told you yet. So the premise of this is a very short story. It's like 200 pages, maybe, or even less. And it's about this main character, Janet, we are following, and she's at her house, and like the television starts breaking up and saying, careful, they look like us. And she's like, what the fuck? And then someone is at the door of her house, and it's someone that she knows, but it isn't really something that she knows or someone that she knows, because that creature has the same face as the person that she knows, but doesn't know how to answer basic questions about that person's life, and has this creepy smile and does this cackling sounds, and it's terrifying as shit. It's a terrifying premise, and it all bodes into what MIQUE wants to say about society and how human beings sometimes are the worst monsters ever to approach the earth and to roam the earth, and the painful things that we can do to each other. However, I do not recommend this book. I will not be the person that will recommend this book to you. I will tell you, if you read extreme horror and you are okay with its topics, then go for it. MIQUE has a sensibility in his writing that is incredible, and I really love the premise and loved how it ended, and it was just so well explored. However, if you have any sort of trigger warnings of any kind, please, for the love of God, I'm telling you that this book made me want to throw the fuck up. There are rape scenes filled with gore that I will not recommend to any living soul. So take that as you want. I really enjoyed this book, but I can't in good conscience tell you, everyone go read this, because no. But if you want to be fucking shocked and bitch slapped in the face about how us humans are our worst fucking enemies and how we fuck everyone in the ass all of the time, sometimes literally, this is a genius book. I really want to read more of MIQUE's writing, but I do have to get ready to not eat before reading that shit, because when he gets into extreme horror, MIQUE gets into extreme horror, if you know what I mean. But yeah, it was a great mind-fucking experience that I want to have again, but at the same time, I will need to have a bucket close to me because I felt sick for the rest of the day after reading this. And then finally, the last thing that I read was for a book club that was started by 3 people, well, more than 3 people, let's just say 3 people that want to bring the attention to horror in Portugal, and so we are reading horror books. And the first one for this month, which was the start of the book club, is The Haunting of Hill House by Shirley Jackson. I had already read this, but I reread it, and it's like the third time that I reread this, and I absolutely love this book. I know, for those of you that watched the series and then read the book, you're going to say, it's nothing to do with this series, but I do say that the themes of it are there in both of them, and you can see it if you read it. I think it's a book that lives for rereadings, and you find each and everything that you hadn't found before when you reread it, and it's such a well-crafted book, like writing like I've never seen before. I have to read more of Shirley Jackson's works because her writing is one of my favorites, to be quite honest. I really love The Haunting of Hill House, and I do recommend The Haunting of Hill House to everybody. If you like terror, if you don't like terror, if you just like good prose, if you like complex characters, if you like questions and no answers, and if you like, plots that apparently make no sense, but then they do, and a little bit of a haunted house. It's perfect. It's perfection. This book is perfection. So yeah, guys, that's going to be all for today. I don't think that I'll finish any more books, but if I do, I will add a PS in this video, but I don't think so. I'm filming this a little bit early, but I really don't think so. But that's going to be all for today. I hope that you guys enjoyed it. If you like it, leave a like or subscribe, and tell me down below what books have you read, and if you've read any of these and what do you think of them. And that's all for today. Happy readings to you all. Bye!